What's up, everybody? Well, we just got the penultimate episode of Dexter New Blood titled The Family Business, and things are set up to be hopefully pretty crazy for this final episode. This is definitely one of the best episodes of the season thus far, and as far as Dexter and Harrison, their relationship on screen, it is the best episode of the series so far. So we pretty much have a whole episode of Dexter giving context to Harrison about his code and kind of framing things in a way that he's more of like a vigilante who confronts people and not somebody who actually kills people until the end of the episode. Meanwhile, you've got Kurt kind of putting his final plan together. You've got Angela starting to put a few more pieces together. So everything kind of coming to a head in this episode to set up the final act, which is this final episode. Maybe of just the season, maybe of the series. We'll find out. I still have no idea what to expect from this show, but I did like this episode quite a bit. So focusing just on the Dexter and Harrison stuff, finally seeing these two characters connect is like a breath of fresh air. I've been very critical, especially the past maybe 3 episodes or so, of how one note their relationship has started to become in this series and how one note the character of Harrison has become, despite understanding why he's frustrated, why he's distant from his father, why he's acting out. I just felt like as an entertainment value for an audience member, it's not quite doing it for me. So now that they finally connect, now that they're actually having this father and son bonding, now that they understand each other and Harrison's starting to feel like this void in his life is filled, it was enjoyable to watch. And I loved how they framed like the storytelling that Dexter is giving to Harrison in the way of the old show, The Way of Dexter, where it was full screen and not letterbox. It had the same music cues and the same score, and it was very heavy with the monologue, and it felt like classic Dexter. And they would just bounce back and forth to Dexter New Blood style of framing a shot, and then go back to this original style of Dexter for these little dream sequences, stories that he's telling about this little clown that he killed. And that was awesome. When the episode started off, I was like, holy shit, this feels exactly like the old Dexter. That's crazy how easily it is just to change a couple of visual cues and make it feel like the old show. So I like that. I liked Deb in this as well. Now, I haven't talked about her the past couple of episodes because she's also been a little bit one note throughout the series, and I haven't exactly loved what they've done with her. I understand the logical reason, but again, just entertainment value. I think that her character is a little bit one note to where she's just berating Dexter every episode. Fucking stop, do it, you're an idiot, quit doing this. And so this episode, whenever he's getting closer and closer to revealing the full truth, and she's like begging him, to the point where he asks, he's like, you killed that clown, didn't you? In like the final 20 minutes of the episode, and then it cuts back and she's literally like holding on to him like, please don't do it. Like, I like that. I thought that was a really cool detail. I thought that was a good utilization of her side of his psyche. And that whole question lingering throughout the episode about whether or not he's going to give the full story or whether he's going to kind of spare Harrison from that, I thought was a good amount of little narrative tension there that was going. Meanwhile, you've got Kurt, who we all knew was not just going to skip town. That would have been horrible. But the fact that he showed up on Christmas Day and just kind of gave the big middle finger to Dexter and Harrison right in front of his girlfriend, and all of that was cool. I loved the reveal of his trophy room. That was fucking crazy and creepy. Just having all of these little display cases with all these women just preserved like statues, I thought was nuts. And then the final reveal at the last one, which I knew the way that they were framing it, there was going to be somebody in that last one, that it was the podcast girl. I thought was a pretty good little reveal. And somebody, I think online said that the girl, the bartender, was somewhere there too. I'd have to re-watch it, but I did see somebody say that on one of my Facebook groups. So that's potentially there too. But I thought that was awesome. That was a great little extra layer to his character and just how mentally fucked up he is the way that he displays these victims. Because back when it was just bodies in a cave, that was, eerie enough. That was something that was certainly cool for a narrative reason of having like this little trophy dump and why he didn't want anybody there. But having this full-on trophy room was pretty nuts. The only part of the Kurt side of things that I did not like, because to me it didn't make any sense, was when he pulled that gasoline truck up to Jim's house and was outside just spraying gasoline all over his house and spraying it all over the snow just to set it on fire, and then he gets on top and has his little sniper rifle out waiting for Dexter or Harrison to run out of the building. That didn't make any sense to me. That truck is so fucking loud. And he's outside, like, you're gonna hear water spraying on a well-built, like, professionally made house like it's raining. That's a fucking log cabin in the middle of the woods. They're gonna hear it like crazy. I don't know. I know what they were trying to do, framing up this shot where he thought he was gonna get them and then just having the extra surprise that they were already 10 steps ahead of him, but to me, that was just silly. It's like, dude, as soon as you pulled that truck up, they know you were there. That fucking thing is loud as hell. It's like a semi. And then when you turn the pump on, nonetheless, I'm nitpicking. That was a little silly to me. But the final confrontation where they're in his little lair and he purposely steps on the little trap and just looks right into the camera like, we got you, bitch. And him and Harrison work together to M99 him, or excuse me, ketamine him. That was cool. Him being taken out one episode before the finale, I was fine with that. It made sense because the final episode is going to be about whatever happens to Dexter, whatever they decide to end his character or end this season with his character with, not necessarily about Kurt. And the whole detail that maybe they'll give more context to in the final episode to where I don't really know if Harrison is fully on board with this. It seemed like he liked all these details and he was for it and he was fully on board with his dad's code and certainly wanted to learn it and definitely wanted to watch it with Kurt. But the scene where the blood is coming towards him and he's having those flashbacks to when he was a baby, I don't know if he has the same relationship with blood that Dexter has. You know, Dexter gets excited and kind of has this bloodlust and gets that killer instinct going with blood, where Harrison seems like he's afraid of it. So I don't know what the ramifications of that is going to be. Obviously, it's not going to be exactly the same. It's not like he's like, this was awesome, let's kill somebody else. So I don't know what the fallout is going to be. You know, once Kurt was dead and he was sawing off the body parts, which was cool to actually finally see that side of his ritual, because we always just see the aftermath or we see like a little quick cut like the boxing episode in season 3. But it was cool. I like that lingering question of what exactly is Harrison thinking about all of this that we still have to answer in the last episode. The other part of the episode that, again, just like the last, was it 2 episodes now, that I'm a little bit iffy on, is Angela walking around and finding out all these details about Dexter. Now, first of all, the thing that was weird for me was the whole Christmas thing, because it seemed pretty clear that she was breaking up with him whenever she confronted him about his identity of Dexter Morgan, and she was just like, ugh, like, get out of here, like, don't even talk to me. And they haven't really had any kind of a resolution. Like, yes, he went and helped her with her friend's body, but it still didn't feel like we're rekindling anything. It just felt like she needed the only person that she knew that she could help, that could help her, that would be obligated to help her. And I never felt any kind of a rekindling of their relationship from that. And so the fact that they just were like, all right, we got to go exchange gifts with Angela and her daughter, and then they just walk in, and very clearly everybody but Angela thinks that everything's cool, but Angela could not be more obvious the fact that she hates the fact that he's there and is not loving at all, to where, like, I think twice in the episode he says love you and she's like, yeah, whatever. That was so weird to me. I didn't understand that. Like, I could understand maybe if they were trying to say that she's trying to keep him close and watch him, but it didn't even feel like that. It just kind of felt like she was just going through the motions because technically they're together and she hasn't broken it off yet, when it really felt like they did. And Dexter not picking up on that felt weird too, to where when he walks in at the end of the episode, he's like, hey, breakfast connoisseur, and she's like, oh, yeah, whatever. I don't know. That whole exchange felt so odd to me. But the narrative of her continuing to find out all these little details about Jim, to where she goes to the animal doctor, finds out that he picked up ketamine, which for a guy that has a fucking farm is not that crazy of a detail, and she was like, thank you, and walked away. And then to sit there and continuously listen to this podcast about the Bay Harbor Butcher, and only the Bay Harbor Butcher, to the point where you know that's the only thought in her fucking head is that Dexter must be the Bay Harbor Butcher. And it's like, how the fuck did you come to that conclusion that goddamn quick? I don't like that. There's some things about this series so far for 9 episodes that have been so slow cooked and so meticulously paced out to almost a frustrating degree, to where it's like, okay, we're waiting a little too long to get to this. And then there's things like this that feel like it's been microwaved and just kind of shoved into the end of the plot because we need to have this happen in the last couple episodes, where it just doesn't feel natural to me. So I don't know. It's going to depend on how they end this episode or end the season or end this series on whether or not I like that or not. But just the story of her figuring out his secrets so quickly for some very circumstantial stuff. I'm not a fan of that. And even the final little reveal of the episode where Kurt or somebody dropped this envelope off into her mailbox saying that Jim Lindsay killed whatever his name is, the kid from the first episode, and puts the little pins, the little screws from his surgery in the envelope, which is now going to keep her wheels turning even more. Even that just kind of feels convenient. Even that's just like, ugh. If that was the only thing, if that was the thing that got dropped off a couple episodes ago to make her start turning her wheels, I would probably have bought into it a little bit more. But now it's just kind of the cherry on top of the cake that I'm not quite buying. So obviously they're setting up the final episode for Dexter getting caught to some degree. Either getting caught by his girlfriend, or maybe she's going to call Batista and Batista will show up one more time at the end of the series and arrest Dexter with all of this evidence that Angela has gotten. I mean, I really don't know. They better do something epic. I have liked the show thus far quite a bit. I have not loved it, I will say that. So it's really going to depend on the final episode, on how they wrap everything up, how they decide to either send off the character in a satisfying way or punch us in the gut in a satisfying way, or if they leave it open for another season, that's another conversation in and of itself, but we will see. As far as this singular episode, I enjoyed it quite a bit. I still have a lot of lingering nervousness about how they're going to wrap all this up if this is in fact the end of Dexter. So what do you guys think of episode 9 of Dexter New Blood? Let me know down below how you like the relationship with Harrison, how you like the plot line with all of the girls being revealed and the podcast girl, and how they took out Kurt, and how do you like this plot line that's going on about Angela just slowly putting all the pieces together in the most perfect way. Let me know all of your thoughts down below on this episode, guys. We got one more episode next week, which is the finale, and then I will do a season review going over my thoughts of everything now that I have the whole puzzle. I'll do a spoiler live stream. Hopefully I'll get my buddy CP on with me, who's been watching this show as well. And then we got a couple of rankings. I'll be ranking the seasons, all of Dexter's 8 seasons, as well as the Dexter New Blood, and ranking all of his main villains. So quite a bit of Dexter content. If you're a fan, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of that. Please like and share this video and help this video get shared around so I can get some more Dexter fans on this channel. Thank you guys for watching, as always, and remember, opinions are like assholes, but that doesn't mean that you have to be.